Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation. What is sensorality? What is a sensor? How is censorship defined? And so we continue to progress through our linguistic steps. Again, my rights continue to be violated. I continue to ask for a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work. The amount of property that's sitting right in front of you is profound. The amount of life quality that I've lost is profound. Nobody cares. With that being said, moving along, continuing to emphasize there is a lien on the entirety of the United States industry, as well as the global academic environment. You guys are criminals, you guys are liars, and you guys are fraud. It's just to my estate, press every charge. These people are terrible. That being said, continuing to do real mathematics, real science, real proof. Nobody else in the world knows what a proof is, because it is what it is the structure of language, and language or words are naturally defined. So there is some amount of syllability, conceptualization associated to sound, associated to letters, that shows what a sensor is independent of me, independent of you. It is a natural definition. What is fluency? Go ask a linguist. You'll get a bunch of different answers from a bunch of different linguists, but fluency is influential. Fluency or influential spells out the word fluent. That is a natural definition. It shows that preservation of irreducibility, the fundamental element, a syllable progressing and developing new conceptualization, right? Fluency is influential, fluent is fluent, it is. What is a sensor? And so we're just moving through our steps until we develop this self-contained question in which we can show this natural definition of sensorality. And so just progressing through our steps. What is vibration to momentum? Again, momentum, mass times velocity, the operative word from velocity being rapid. Last episode, we really hammered home the linguistic evidence, just empirical right in front of you. What is a position? It is a site. That is the direct syllability contained within the word position, S-I-T-E. Vibration, potential movement, kind of this direct chronological shifting or change of energy, movement potential. But if you can find something and it's vibrating, it has movement potential, or the potential to move. What is potential movement to mass times velocity? Sensorality is a positive position. Again, positive site, emphasizing that is direct iteration. Sensorality is a positive site. Natural definition, direct iteration. Fundamental theorem, a city is a site. Natural definition, again emphasizing the C to the S, censorship with a C, censor with an S. What is this fundamental differentiation? Sensorality is addressability. Sensorality is dressability, right? A site, a location, a position, an address. And then to address somebody, addressability. Sensorality is essence ability. Sense, S-E-N-S, those first four letters of sensorality. Again, it's some sort of linguistic form that you've never seen before, but it's just this overall packaging so we can find common syllability. But when you think of that S-E-N-S at the front of sensorality, just think of essence. It is that syllability iterated. Sensorality is the essence of density. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is quality density. Is density a site? Direct iteration. Sensorality is a virtuous destiny. Natural definition, direct iteration. What is calamity to fatality? Is fate destiny? What is positivity to positionality? What is positionality to personality? Sensorality is a personal position. Natural definition, direct iteration. Is morality personal? Is morality business? What is sign to sight? Direct iteration. Sensorality is sight size. Natural definition, direct iteration. Is morality sentimental? Is morality relative? Is relative relevant? Is morality business? We just had that one. Morality is everyone's business. Sensorality minds everyone's business. mind your own business. Sensorality, minds everyone's business. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is songe business. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is a singing monkey. Songe business, monkey business. What is singing to vibrating? What is vibrating to sensing? Sensorality is sense-ing, emphasizing that conceptualization again to the linguistic structure. What is vibrating to tensing? Tensing, sensing. What is orality to beration? Sensorality berates. Direct iteration. Sensation, beration, beration, vibration. What is breaking to berating? Sensorality is berating. Natural definition, direct iteration. Add a space. Sensorality is berating. Directly expanding, berating. But it's kind of interesting with our definition of spacing, which is nothing, right? We add a space, we add nothing, we add distance, we separate. What is rating to raking? What is raking to plowing? Sensorality reaps what it sows. Direct iteration. Fundamental theorem, spacing is nothing. Natural definition, direct iteration. We've obviously had that one before. Again, emphasizing, of course, the same theorems come up. It's just the overall conceptual progression. But I really like to not have any redundancy, but it doesn't really matter. Moving along. Sensorality is, oh, it's nothing. Natural definition, direct iteration. Nothing is absent. Again, pairing the word nothing to this natural slang conceptual usage. Again, because the whole logical structure we use is what I call slang, or what is slang. Right? There's no there's no absolute meaning. And so, just nothing to, oh, it's nothing. Just pairing a word to its natural kind of usage or a context. Sensorality sends things. Direct iteration. Things are thin. Is thin flat? Do things inflate? What is inflation to evaporation? Is vapor flat? Is gen flat? What is fat to flat? Is water wet? So again, we're connecting cliches. A fundamental physical one, is water wet? Is water liquid? Is water fluid? Fluent, fluid. What is a fluid to a liquid? Is liquidity a liability? Direct iteration, just saw a great, again, our Leopold Aschenberger from Columbia grad, valedictorian, 19 years of age, math genius. Holy crap, he's a math genius. He went to a school that doesn't know what mathematics is and it just spells out thematics right there on the building. But he's a genius. Holy cow. He got overextended on leverage. Oh my goodness. He went to Columbia. He was a valedictorian, and he bought shit he couldn't afford. What a surprise. Holy cow, what a genius. Top of the class. Greatest mathematician in history. Doesn't even know what math is. Again, nobody's done a math proof besides Brad. But Brad's life is destroyed. Nobody cares. So yes, liquidity can be a liability. But again, what is liquidity? The ability to access currency. We get to that here in a second. What is current to flow? Right? Sensorality is electrical current. Natural definition, direct iteration, and now what we've demonstrated with our form of language, how words work and why it matters. Electrical current is an adjective. Right? Current is not electrical. Moving charge is electricity. What is currency? Sensorality is currentality. Natural definition, direct iteration. What is currency to relevancy? What is charge to current? What is currency to viscosity? Is liquidity current? Sensorality is the direction of current. Natural definition, direct iteration. You're out in the ocean, don't fight the waves, swim with the current. When you're sitting there waving, again, when we said liquid motion is different than this motion, or is it? right? It's not really. Everything is kind of like in liquid dynamics, fluid motion. Movement, discrete things moving. Discrete movement in rhythmic motion is motion, right? Smooth movement is motion. But we have all of those phrasings. You can't fight the current. Yeah. Sensorality is current on rent. Natural definition, direct iteration. Current is up to date. Natural definition. Fundamental theorem of economics, liquidity is access to currency. Emphasizing all of those words are fundamental ontological words. We've come across it a bunch in the economics series. It's the ability to access currency. What is currency to solvency? What is fluency to currency? Solvent is current. Fluid movement is motion, natural definition. What is liquidity to momentum? What is fluidity to momentum? Again, you hit your coffee cup, you can see those concentric circles centralizing. You watch some bloopers of a sports game and somebody hits with a sports ball, and you can see like the rippling, the waving, the wake go through their face. So again, when I say this motion is different than the water motion, intuitively you say it is, but it's just density. Right? Thermodynamics is fluid motion. Yeah. Vocality contains orality. What is vocality to velocity? Does water wave? Direct iteration. Does waving flow? Does liquidity flow? Does fluidity flow? So I just did a little trek across the local reservoir on a stand-up paddleboard, sitting there watching again the motion of the water. And it's like those are discrete particles, right? Those are discrete independent things. And that movement looks different than the movement of this notebook. Why? But it's not really different. We said that in the previous episode, but if you go watch somebody get hit in the face, you can see that rippling, that waving, that transfer of momentum in a fluid-like manner. And so it's just something about density or something about material or elementality most specifically, or configuration, right? Everything is just this dynamic of electrons and protons. So even elementality is kind of this stabilized dynamic that just local relevant limits. But overall, what is water? Is water wet? Is water a liquid? Is water a fluid? Most naturally, to me, it struck me as fluid. It's like, this is the right word of what I'm watching. But again, just highlighting any part of this realization process. Brad's opinion at any point, again, I don't present my opinion, but you've just never seen a derivation like this. You've never seen somebody with my capacity. I'm exhausting all of the available logic. However, sensorality is naturally defined as independent of me. So I'm just showing you for whatever value it's worth every step of the process. But again, liquid motion, liquid movement looks different than discrete objects, but liquid and water particles are discrete, independent things, just like the atoms in this notebook. Does liquidity flow? Does fluidity flow? Does waving flow? What is questionability to fluency? What is fluidity to continuity? Right? Smooth movement is motion. If it's fluid, right, because we always have that logical appeal, it's very fluid motion. Right? Why was it not a very liquid motion? Right? What is liquid to fluid? What is fluidity to continuity? Is liquid continuous? What is vibrating to being? What is being to berating? Berating incenses. Direct iteration. Does orality vibrate? What is vibration to concentration? Sensorality concentrates vibration. Sensorality centralizes vibration. Fundamental theorem expanding vibration, introducing sensorality. Sensorality centralizes potential movement. Direct iteration. Fundamental theorem of physics, for sure. Sensorality is a potential site. Sensorality is a tent site. What is attention to potential? Direct iteration. Is current potent? Sensorality is tent rent. Natural definition, direct iteration. What is rapidity to fluidity? What is rapidity to serendipity? Direct iteration, emphasizing the D and the P, that syllability, pidity, dipity. It's always interesting, the P and the D are like the same element, just rotated, but it directly iterates the D and the P. Sensorality surrenders. What is rendering to surrendering? What is surrendering to arresting? Surrendering concedes. Direct iteration. Is surrendering endearing? Direct iteration. Does liquid vibrate? What is waking to vibrating? What is liquidity to potential movement? What is accessibility to potentiality? What is liquidity to power? Sensorality is potential access. Natural definition, direct iteration. What is access to recess? Sensorality is recessibility. Natural definition, direct iteration. A recess is a hiatus. Natural definition. Is hiatus habitual? Direct iteration. Sensorality is unforgivability. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is unforgettability. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality forgives but doesn't forget. Brad doesn't forgive or forget. Again, direct iteration of that consensus phrasing. Oh, you should forgive but don't forget. Pussy shit. No, don't forgive, don't forget. Enforce the law. Damages are damages. Give me my money. This world is such a moral failure. Again, why can't anybody give me a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work? All of you people out there stealing my property definitely deserve families and careers and the ability to go to the grocery store and enjoy your weekend much more than me. Because you guys contribute so much to our society. I'm just overwhelmed with how much contribution I see from everybody else around me. It's really impressive stuff. Is sensation influential? Sensorality is fluentiality. Natural definition, direct iteration. For what it's worth, I took the word influential and then iterated the S, right? ST, going back one element. But then if you just take the word fluency and then generalize with our EIA relationship, you get I went from the S to the C, but again, just emphasizing we're doing different tools, but we can't avoid like the overall progress. It's just one big linguistic progression. And so we're over here like, what is sensorality? What is sensorality? But once we stabilize it, it's just a step like literally anything else. And then we'll use it like a bazillion times like we did with speciality. It's just stabilizing this definition. Literally exhausting the logical linguistic implications. But sensorality is a fluentiality. What is fluency to enunciation? What sensorality is enunciality. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality equivocates, right? Unequivocal, drop the unequivocate. What is equivocation to equilibration? Is equivocation quintessential? Is vocation oration? Sensorality vocates, direct iteration. What is vocationality to vibrationality? What is vocationality to sensationality? Sensationality is vibrationality. Natural definition, emphasizing there, vibration is this linguistic conceptual basis, not the actual physical definition of what a vibration is. Because again, it's vibration information theory. When I first contacted you, everything was already reduced. I just have to demonstrate this stuff. Connect infinite uniqueness to speciality. And now, since speciality, we have to connect sensorality to some sort of differentiation we've already made in our linguistic progression since then. Right? It's all this big self-containment, limiting proliferation. What is sensation to potential movement? Again, direct iteration, vibration, potential movement. What is fluency to fluidity? Is melting liquidation? That's a good one. Does liquid quiver? direct iteration. Is a quiver a container? Is quivering vibrating? Sensorality is vocal ability. Natural definition, direct iteration. What is quivering to quaking? Sensorality is an earthquake. Natural definition, direct iteration. Quake, wake. Sensorality is wake. Natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is awake. Natural definition, direct iteration. Does wake wave? Does wake vibrate? What is wake to awake? Fundamental theorem of emotion. Sensorality is awake. Natural definition, direct iteration. Come on, bro, wake up. Dark energy and dark matter are completely fraudulent and proven wrong, and everyone's just too pathetic to tell the truth. Oh well, Brad's entire life is ruined. But again, our great leader, Leopold Oschenberger, he fails, and then he goes to get bought out by Ken Griffin at BlackRock. Guess what? All of your institutions are fraudulent. Guess what all of your analysts got degrees from? School stealing from me. I cannot emphasize enough, you guys are too pathetic to realize you have liability you cannot satisfy. The United States industry is insolvent to me. The world economy is insolvent to me. I own education. I own the unique dissemination of all fundamental proofing. And guess what? You're never allowed to watch it. Give me my money and leave me alone. This world is such profound moral failure that I want nothing to do with these people that have done nothing besides play games and just compete over nothing. Well, have you guys won yet? Are you guys the big winner of the super game of life yet? Think about that. In 10 years, complete unification of physics demonstrated completely. And there's nothing you can do. It's my property. So however you guys are lying about my life today in the most disgusting way possible, that is all you can ever disseminate to your kids. You are not allowed to use my property, and because this stuff is slang, there is no way for you to do anything besides directly steal from me. Isn't that exciting? All of those hardworking Americans out there specifically, and this applies to the whole world, but all those hardworking Americans, did you guys win yet? Are you guys the big winner of the sports super match? Are you guys the smartest person? Have you contributed to your community yet? Oh, no, you're just going to compete over nothing and complain and bitch because you can't make some money for your whole life. Think of how amazing that is. And if I could literally participate, there's Melissa Lee up there talking, the SIBO, closing bell, all these hardworking Americans, they're all checking their 401ks, now it's time for a good hard weekend off. You guys did nothing besides lie, cheat, and steal for another 5 days. Man, we need another weekend. Another weekend where you did enough work this week, aka fraud, and so you can go to the grocery store, buy some chicken wings, watch a game or two, and just kick back and relax. Is Brad ever allowed to make some money? Nope. Is Brad ever allowed to have a career? Nope. But Leopold, the great Leopold, is up there buying shit he can't afford. But he was the valedictorian. He went to Columbia, one of the greatest Ivy Leagues, where again nobody knows what math is, and everyone just steals all of my shit. No one cares, obviously, but at some point the law will make sense, and to my estate, just run everybody over, legally and lawfully, of course. But that is what I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.